race leader. I will say though, the top 10 is littered with Fords. I will say that. Alright.
Folks, if you're just joining us on YouTube, welcome in, as we've had a little bit of a delay here, just to bring you up to speed. So far, so good in tonight's Monday Night NASCAR Xfinity Series race. Dave Regal alongside Miss Emily Urias here in the Sim Racing Media broadcast booth. 8 laps in, your pole sitter was Ryan Truitt. He's currently dropped all the way back here to 6th position, but it looks like he's trying to hold on to things as we go here tonight. Eugenio Alonso, your current race leader from Buenos Aires, he's being chased down by Chase Cabra, as Kyle Ryan also just behind him. Emily, now that we're back here on YouTube live and ready to rock and roll, we can see some of this great racing tonight. And I mean, last night, a lot of us were side by side for most of the night in the Cup Series, but here we are in the Xfinity Series, and this is just absolutely impressive, as so many drivers starting to pick one another off. I mean, one of the things that we've talked about, time and time again in this league specifically, that we've been talking about for the last few years, is this particular level, the B cars, the Xfinity Series cars, they're a beast to drive on a number of different levels. And, the rear end wants to kick out on you if you get a little too feisty. And at the same time, they're also the cars that we see people get better at all the time. They take a lot more skill.
Yes, 100%, I agree with that too. And to be honest, they kind of remind me of the old Gen 6 cars. If you take a look at them, definitely bring some nostalgia back whenever I am able to be here and broadcast these cars. They remind me of the old body styles of the old Gen 6 cars. Had really good times with those until the next gen came out. But Xfinity car is definitely a B-class car in the middle, and actually really fun to drive. I know there's a couple tracks that I'd love to drive. I haven't had a chance to drive them last week at Auto Club. I know now it is Vegas. But yeah, I know any car at Auto Club is a fun car to drive. It's such a really groove-centered track where you can run any groove of the racetrack, as there is 4 to 5 lanes if you can. I bet I can see 5 wide too.
Yeah, we saw a few times last night, 5 wide. And of course, the unfortunate thing for us is that we don't get to see the trucks here tomorrow night, as the Truck Series is off, this week. However, even as we're going around here on lap number 11, we do want to touch base with everybody. Basically, 150 total laps tonight, just 50 shy of where we were last night in the Cup Series. Stage 1 going to be ending at lap number 35, so at the conclusion of lap 35, so 35 to 36. We always talk about this. We always, somebody's always arguing this, but it's at the conclusion of lap number 35. Then Stage 2 going to end at the conclusion of lap number 70, and then, of course, that 80-lap run there to the end. These drivers are starting tonight with 6 sets of tires. They're laying 5, so 1 set of tires on the car, 5 sets of tires down there in the pits. We're going to see some interesting pit strategy tonight as well, Em, because, with so many tires, let's talk about pit strategy. Last night, with 200 laps, we had 8, so basically it was every 25 laps you could feasibly go in, so you could stretch those tires, which many of us did, for 40-plus laps, and then there were some other drivers that were able to get in there slightly more often. Now tonight, with 6 sets total, laying 5, what are you thinking about pit strategy?
Pit strategy, I know the Cup cars, I think it was around 45 we could do on fuel, and you could make it 45 laps on tires. I think last night, the first half, I was chilling, and I think I did 60 to almost 70 laps on a set of tires. So, that is definitely pushing, I will say, but they can definitely do a fuel run about 40 laps, you said, in fuel run for these cars, I believe.
Yeah, and I mean, a fuel run on these machines, you're looking at somewhere in and around 45 to 55 laps. You don't want to get too crazy. You certainly don't want to get, really stretching yourself too thin, because that's something that so many drivers do see, where it's like, I can do this. And then it's like, oh, no, I don't got it.
Yes, 100%. And Definitely, I believe if these are around the same as the Cup cars last night, around 45 to 55, like you mentioned, tires I believe make it the same. It definitely will cut down in the lap times, which understandably will happen. But down here, I know you can save tires really good, but it just depends on if the drivers will be saving.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, one of the things that we're seeing right now is drivers starting to try to slide into that comfortability zone. And just as I say that, Kyle Ryan here in the 60, whoa, the 65 nearly makes contact with the 03. We're going to run this back real quick now that we've got a moment, if you will. We pull up the old replay mask here. And Emily, we're going to take a quick look here at RP Allen. This is something that we're going to see, and folks, don't be alarmed when you do see it. You know, RP Allen here coming out of turn 4. This is an absolutely treacherous turn. We see RP tighten up because he's got that car on the inside, that left rear quarter panel, and it causes just enough aero push to drive you up there and into that.
Definitely with these cars. Ooh, as one car does touch that wall. Another thing that these drivers have to be careful is touching that wall. I know it's not like the next gens where it has progressive damage. I remember doing that myself once. I can't remember which track that was about a couple months ago, but I ended up hitting that wall so much that finally, after the progressive damage, I just broke that toe link. Obviously, these Xfinity cars are different, but they can still do some damage eventually and slow it down from turning.
Take a look at Gabriel Lafreniere, who just worked his way ever so gently past RP Allen. You know, I got to be honest, watching RP Allen out here on the racetrack, there are times where I am more glad to be up here in the broadcast booth than down there on track with guys like RP, because he is just so talented. You know, something tells me that, you know, Gabriel just worked his way on past, but in a few moments, we're going to see RP bite back in there and get that spot back, because, you know, he'll let you by. It's kind of like a cat playing with a small... Ooh, I did just see the 84 of Joseph Lester getting loose back here. Let's take a look and see what happened to him as we've got the time. But, you know, RP is one of those drivers where you can pretty much think, oh, I've got this, and he's just letting you go. We see Joseph getting loose back there coming out of turn number 2. That's going to be another treacherous turn that we see tonight. You know, exit off of 2 and also exit off of 4. 2 spots where we're going to see lots of drivers, even talented drivers like Joseph, you know, wind up getting themselves wrapped up in some kind of scary stuff.
Yes, 100%. As the 66 car and 20 car, remember the 20 car did start in the lead. He is back into 3rd right now, but I think he's trying to save tires, if I'm correct. I mean, that's one thing you kind of want to do, especially if they get a long run. I know from experience, if this goes green, you got to time out your field run and your tire run at the same time.
Without a doubt. You know, saving tires is such a big deal at a place like this, and all of a sudden, we suddenly have folks talking about pitting in. And let's just see exactly what went on here. Looks like Tony Burt was just down. Oh, that's not Tony Burt. That's John Bawaldo. Kyle Ryan down on pit road now. Not sure what might have happened with the young man here, as he is now down 31 spots. And he is just sitting there. Emily, have you heard anything on race radio?
To be honest, I do have that turned off, but I can turn that on. Give me one moment.
As Kyle getting ready to run off of pit road here. Interesting there what might have happened. Well, hopefully we can find out maybe later here, as he's going to need quite a recovery drive. Eugenio Alonso, still your race leader. He's being chased down by Chase Cabre. Logan Truitt, your pole sitter. Dylan Ackart Ryan Honeycutt, Gabriel Lafreniere, Mike Wright, Joseph Lester has now crawled up in here to the top 10. And Emily, first off, I do want to say that I kind of like Joseph's paint scheme. It's a pretty brave paint scheme for the young man.
Oh, yeah.
But you know what? There are some really cool paint schemes. And you know what, folks? Let's just zoom in on this. How many young men do you, I mean, you know, he's a teenager. He's in high school. How many young men do you know that are perfectly comfortable saying, you know what? I'm going to do this one tonight.
I think he did that as a troll, let's be honest.
Look, I'm a fan. I'm an absolute fan.
100%,
But
yeah.
anyway, rounding out the top 10, we have John Crow Sr. and R.P. Allen here in his 03 Microsoft Toyota Supra. Of course, Kavaja Holt running in 11th. This field's starting to get itself nice and settled in. Not too many close battles, but Chad Sander back here door to door with Matt Gaskins in the 79. And now looks like Sander going to try to pass Doug Argabright here as Sander making the low line work. On the exit out of 4, he manages to stay pretty stable. You know, a lot of these drivers we're starting to see maybe use that lower groove. This racetrack has so many different grooves. I mean, you know, and it's really a matter of driver comfortability as it looks like the 56 just dropped down in front of Joseph Lester as if to block him. Lester looking to the outside. He gets to the high side using some of that momentum. We'll see, maybe he does a little bit of a trail break action here as Lester pretty high up at the wall. He may be a little tight. We've got about 12 laps to go here in, 11 laps to go here in stage number 1.
What was the other stages? My bad.
Stages are going to end at 35 and 70. Thanks for being with us through the broadcast, Em. I'm glad that you're up here in the booth, keeping everybody on their toes as everybody else just went. But you know what, folks? I do want to welcome everybody into our YouTube live stream as we've gotten it back up. The great one, Bob Nestor, here in our live chat, cheering on Eugenio Alonso. And Leo Bonacasa, of course, cheering on Money House Racing, and apparently Dave. I'm assuming he means me. There's no other Dave out on the track tonight. So, but you know what? Leo is one of those guys. I call him the godfather of SNN. He's, you know, here's the thing. And Emily, I know that you can speak to this because, you know, you're a younger person. You know, sometimes you need that guy like Leo to just be in your ear and be like, hey, why are you acting that way? You know, when people get really upset, you know, middle of the season kind of frustration. Leo's there to keep everybody in check.
Oh yeah, 100%. I know that a lot of these drivers like doing that too. They like saying their word, their piece, shall I say?
Hey, I caught you.
No proof.
You know, the thing is, and we've talked about it time and time again. You know, tempers can run high. I mean, we're only in race number 2, and there was grumbling. Speaking of grumbling, check out Carlos Ramos here behind Bennett Allen.
Definitely reminds me of last night when they're running Daytona kind of style, pushing. I know myself. At the very end, I was pushing the number 79 car, funny enough. Pushing that car to the limit. Let's just say he got a nice shove going into turn 3 and 4.
Well, caution out. Let's see what might have brought this one around.
And I believe this will be stage N, or they might have a 2 to 3 lap shootout for the stage.
Going to take a look here and see what might have happened. Possibly Mark Brewster. Well, folks, we're currently trying to find out what might have brought this caution out. You'll have to bear with us here.
Was it
we
the
are,
90? Was
I'm
it the
gonna
93?
I'm gonna go find out from race control, Emily, if you want to talk about Eugenio Alonso, Chase Cabre here at the lead.
Copy that. Yeah, no, definitely. I think. See here, we are going. Let's get Chase up in the booth really quick.
Well, folks, just went over here to find out what might have happened, and got to be honest, race control doesn't know, the owner's chat doesn't know, so more than likely what this was when Mark Brewster had gone off track, because it looks like right now he may have had some kind of connection issue, but he's currently sitting down here on pit road. Looks like he's had a pretty rough go of it. It might have been a connection issue that just threw him completely sideways.
And I cannot find the race leader. I was gonna get the race leader up in the broadcast booth. Actually, I did finally find it. My bad. Eugene, this is Emily and Dave in the booth. You got a copy.
Hi, Dave. How are you,
Eugenio,
man?
listen, one to go, Eugenio. What are you feeling when you come back green here?
It's very difficult to start with all tires in this track, but 5 to go. I can make it.
All right, well, we feel you. Listen, you just go out there and get it done there for the boss man. I saw John's back there in 31st, so you're going to have to represent the rest of Jack Down Motorsports up here for stage number 1, brother.
Yeah, thanks. I try to do my best.
All right, man. Emily, we're going to send Eugenio back. Eugenio, hopefully we'll talk to you there at the end of stage number 1.
Thank you, man.
All right, that was your race leader, number 86 of Eugenio Alonso, looking to run on that inside line. Hopefully win this stage. Knock on wood for broadcaster curse. Hopefully does not happen.
We don't talk about it. That's like saying Voldemort.
Oh my God, no. And getting ready to go green, coming into turn 4. Number 86 of Eugene Alonso and 93 of Chase Cabre is going to be on that front row, getting ready to bring a green into Geico restart zone. Pulls the trigger. A little bit of wiggle out between a lot of those cars out there as Eugene gets a huge gap between second place and out. Running that mid to low line is what I'm seeing happening here tonight. Definitely must be the fast lane here. I know Cup Series is a little bit different, but Eugene definitely is rocking it out here tonight. Lap 31, 4 to go for this stage.
Absolutely, side by side, door handle to door handle through turn number 3 and 4. As we exit 4, Logan Truitt trying to get back up there to second position, because remember, folks, there are stage points on the line here as we cross the start-finish line, and we are back under caution. Not sure what brought this one out as we're on lap 32 of 150, as that is going to end the stage. Waiting for the official call from race control. So at the conclusion here for lap number 31, as we're here on 32, Eugenio Alonso, your stage 1 winner with Chase Cabra finishing second. Logan Truitt in third. Mike Wright and Joseph Lester rounding out the top 5. Kavaja Holt, John Crow Sr., Ryan Honeycutt, Carlos Ramos, and Bobby Anderson all going to be awarded the all-important stage points here as they go from 10 to 1 from 1st to 10th. And that was quite a stage. Very clean so far, Emily. One caution, but it was kind of a phantom caution. We couldn't find the cause. But we're going to see probably wholesale pit stops here as Eugenio going to get caught up here to the pace car.
Okay. And after stage 1 is complete, wholesale pit stops will be most likely happening. Next stage will be 70, I believe.
Yes, ma'am. Stage 2 going to end at lap 70.
So definitely gonna have it. Might be close. If it goes green from here to 70, it is possible we might have green flag pit stop. What do you think, Dave?
I'll tell you what. If I'm a betting man, and I've been known to place a wager or two in my day, there is going to be a green flag pit stop this time around. These drivers are going to be taking their time, just as we enter pit road. And here they come.
Coming down like the lunch line, in line. Look at all of those cars following one by one on that outside line of pit road. And that's something that they reinstated. That's one thing I love about this league. They have that rule, and I feel like it makes it a lot more cleaner and a lot better to show on broadcast.
Yeah, wholesale pit stops right now as Gabriel Lafreniere sitting up here as best he can. We're going to get here. There we go. Gabriel Lafreniere choosing to stay out. As I just got to make a quick adjustment here. There we are. Coming off
Number
pit road.
93 is the first person to be able to make it out before everybody else. And I believe Tires and Fuel was this pit stop here for the first stage.
Well, when we talk about tires and fuel, there's one person that I'm always curious because he is one of those tire and fuel wizards. We're going to get a hold of Mr. Jeff Carson here and bring him into the broadcast booth. Jeff Carson, Dave Riedel, and Emily Urias up in the broadcast booth. You got a copy, brother?
Yeah, I got you, bud.
Well, we were just talking about tire wear and, whether or not you came down and got 4 and a full tank of fuel. Obviously, I assume you did. How was the tire wear tonight? You don't have to tell us what your percentage was, but how was the tire wear and your fuel consumption so far in that first stage?
Well, the tire wear is good as long as you don't go out there and go wide open the whole way. If you take it easy, you should have some decent tire wear. Fuel, you're getting about 38 to 40 laps on fuel.
Well, 38 to 40 laps, and you were right there. I mean, teammates not necessarily around you tonight, as it looks like Lauren Jones. I see him way up here in 7th position, and looks like Chris is pretty buried in the pack as well. So what's going to be your strategy? Hang loose here in second stage?
Yeah, I'm just going to hang loose until the end of the race. Can't win it in the middle of the race, so I'm just going to be riding around, saving the tires, let everyone else.
Now, I distinctly remember last night having a discussion where it was like lap 188, and that was the most important. Is that what we're kind of looking at tonight?
Yeah, probably roughly around 135. It'd probably be about go time.
All right, man.
135.
Well, listen, we'll cut you loose. We'll get you back up into the Discord. Thanks for your time, and we'll look forward to seeing you move up through the traffic.
All right, bud. See you later.
It was Jeff Carson, driver of the number 9 out of Cross Junction, Virginia, the Micro Center Toyota Supra. Of course, Micro Center, I got to be honest with you, Emily, I don't know if you've ever been to one, but Bob Nestor, the former chief cook and bottle washer here in the Monday Night NASCAR Xfinity Series and dedicated Tuesday night Thunder Truck driver, he's the one who introduced me to Micro Center and Emily. It's a game changer. It's a life changer. You've got to go if you're near one. But right
After
now,
we
we'll get back
going,
to that.
I will tell you.
We'll get back to that. The green flag waves as we come through the Geico restart zone, and we're back underway on lap 35 of 150. Gabriel Lafreniere brings the field through into turn number 1. He's going to be chased down by Brandon Minto in that number 12 upside Ford Mustang. He's going to be towing along Michael Astuto in the number 39 Cookout. So a couple of Fords here behind this bow tie up front. And then, of course, we're looking back here to those Toyotas. Chris Claude, I was looking for, you know what, I'm going to owe him a big apology because I honestly was looking for Chris Claude slightly back further in the field, but all of a sudden it's like he's got this car hooked up. Whoa! I spoke too soon. Wow!
Caution, caution, caution. Doing coming out on the racetrack right now. Let's see if we can find it.
Yeah, gotta be honest, iRacing timing and scoring not real good on telling us what's going on tonight.
As I believe if they pit now, they should be able to make it to the next stage.
Well, we're going to take a quick look here and see what brought Tony Burt down here to pit road. He may have been serving a penalty. Tony Burt got sideways. Whoa! And he just quickly gets out of the way. You know what? I got to be honest here. Tony Burt is a heck of a guy. I love Tony. He's a personal friend, and you know, I feel like I'm always feeling bad for him. Last week, you know what? He finally caught his big break, and let's just see if we can bring in Tony to the broadcast booth. Here we go. Tony Burt, Dave Regal, and Emily Urias up in the broadcast booth. You got a copy, brother?
I do, man. What's going on?
Listen, wanted to touch base with you. What happened there coming out of 4?
I was hoping you could tell me.
Well, listen, it looks like the car forgot that it was supposed to stay up on the racing surface, and maybe the car wanted to go down to pit road?
I just got new tires. I don't know why, so there must be cookies on pit road.
That's what it was. You know, and you know how I feel about cookies.
Because I got tires. I mean, it's got to be cookies.
Well, you know, tires plus the cold tire, you know, every now and then those cold tires do like to bite us right in the old wallet. But,
yeah.
Tony, listen.
I got a little right shake where Brewster hit the wall and then hit me. I think that might be messing me up.
Oh, that'll do it every day. Well, here you are in the number 4 Chevrolet Camaro. One more day, suicide prevention, of course, on the door panel here. You have more sponsors on this car than we can shake a stick at. But what I wanted to talk to you about is, you know, how the car feels tonight versus how that truck felt last Tuesday night.
Well, you know, I'm a super speedway guy, so nothing feels better than super speedways. I wish we could race Daytona, Talladega just week in, week out, and just be done with it all.
Hey, I feel you. And speaking of which, not that I want to drag you away from Heather, because I'm sure that, you know, these are one of those things that, you know, she lets you do, and you're glad that she lets you do it. But there is the Circle B Diecast Super Speedway Series Friday nights on Sim Racing Media.
Yeah, I was looking into that, actually. I like that.
Sir, I am always tempted to go check that one out. So if you ever decide you're going to run it, you give me a call and we'll do it together.
We'll do it, brother. We'll do it.
All right, man. Well, listen, congratulations again on last Tuesday's Truck Series win, and good luck tonight as you get on that recovery drive here on lap 39, brother.
I appreciate you.
That was, of course, the great Tony Burt, driver of the number 4 Chevrolet Camaro. Just an all-around great guy that we love to talk to here on Sim Racing Media. And Emily, if you ever get a chance to just sit down and have a discussion with Tony, he is an absolute gem of a person. And I always hate when I see him catch those bad breaks.
Yes, sir. And as we're getting ready to go green. But we still have a couple turns before we get green. Going back to that Micro Center thing. Funny story. My new PC I got from Micro Center. So I've actually been there. I've been there 2 times now. Hopefully going to a 3rd time in a couple months. We'll see. As 06 Gabriel Lafreniere sorry about that.
It's all right, Emily. We forgive you. You're just one of those dumb Americans like the rest of us.
Okay.
I'm going to break you yet tonight.
Alright, as we get ready to go green with the number 6 on the inside line, has the trigger finger with the number 12 of Brandon Minto. Gonna be running that outside line. Number 06 gonna have that trigger into the Geico restart. Gonna be pulling that trigger. Gets a huge little gap right there. I like how I said that. Getting to move onto the outside line. Ooh. Number 90.
That's the 93 of Chase Cabra, who decided he wanted to fan out and look for a hole, and the hole he finds as we are all but 4 wide going from turn 2 onto the backstretch. They get it sorted out to 3 wide, but Chase Cabra deciding he's going to try to take it as wide as he can. Let's look back through this field, as this is like a salad bowl. Everybody side by side jockeying for position. We're 3 wide right here with Matt White and Zach Osborne. And that's got Aaron Mack right in the middle of that tornado. There's nothing scarier, Emily, than when that spotter comes on the radio and says 3 wide, you're the meat.
Oh, yes, definitely. I've had that a couple times, but I've also heard the 5 wide. I know that's rare to hear sometimes, but ooh, contact.
The 01 makes contact with the 31. That's Aaron Mack going up into the wall. Definitely something that Mack and definitely not intentional. Something that we just heard from Tony there on our break there during. Whoa, my goodness! Everybody bouncing around. These cold tires, and of course, the last green flag run didn't last very long. So a lot of these tires still very cold. We see Lauren Jones getting into it up here with Austin Story in the 23 Toyota Supra. There's a knot of Toyotas. Business is picking up on the racetrack tonight.
Oh yeah, definitely. I see a lot of loose cars out here tonight as they go 3 wide. Almost 4 wide that are coming out of turn 2. Definitely something they need to be careful with. Especially having cold tires. 4 wide can lead to something insanely bad. I've seen it myself. Let's be real. The bottom car goes out or the top car goes out. All 4 cars are in infield.
Yeah, I'm watching some really close racing back here.
Ooh.
Woof. Oh boy.
At this point, I have to think about just grabbing some popcorn and watching this. This is how amazing these races are going tonight. Jeez.
What do I tell everybody at the beginning of every race? Grab some popcorn, call a friend, and settle in. They're 3 wide yet again here with the 66 of Dylan Eckhart right in the middle of this sandwich. He's between Andrew Jones and Logan Truitt. They're trying to get themselves sorted out, but you don't want to back off too soon and wind up losing positions. So at a racetrack like this, because of how wide and sweeping it is, you can afford a little bit of room. 3 wide here doesn't feel like 3 wide at Las Vegas, which of course is where we're going to be next week. And how are you feeling about Las Vegas for next week?
I'm definitely feeling Las Vegas. Las Vegas is something like Auto Club. Definitely in between of a track that's easy and hard. You can either be easy to run it if you have a good setup, or it can be extremely loose. And when I say extremely loose, looser than Auto Club. Or, yeah. Las Vegas can be loose, especially if the track temps are up there as 3 wide again between the 66, 90, or I can't read numbers, my bad. 94. 94 is definitely one of those cars out here tonight that is like, hey, I like going 3 wide. Hey, I want to be up here. Hey, let's have fun,
Without a doubt, taking a look up here at the race leader again, Chase Cabra, logging laps. He's hitting those marks just where he needs to go, and he has found some kind of grace up here atop the pile, as he's about 0.2 of a second ahead of Gabriel Lafreniere. Of course, Gabriel is one of our other international contestants here this evening, and of course we have Eugenio Alonso from Buenos Aires, but Gabriel from up there north of the border. And I always feel like Canada must be, they're kind of like a loft apartment above a really great party. Keep it down there, eh? Canada is just, I've heard that it's beautiful. I've heard that it's really nice. But while I say that, Looks like Mike Wright wants to get in here and dance as he has now crawled into the top 3, up 5 from where he had begun.
98 is definitely pushing that car, working that bottom line, working that line hard, working to get that slide jump, attempt to get that slide jump done. But he is closing that gap nevertheless. A lot of these cars are starting to close the gap, starting to go single file line to sit in, ride back. Definitely this front pack starting to get in the single file line, starting to pass a little bit better than 3 wide that we've seen, starting to sit back in their race harnesses and chilled out a little bit for the rest of this stage.
Absolutely. And speaking of chilling out, we are going to step aside and chill out and pay some bills here on Sim Racing Media. Dave Regal and Emily Earlius here in the Sim Racing Media broadcast booth. You're watching Monday Night NASCAR Xfinity Series live on YouTube. Well, folks, we were in the middle of paying some bills, but it looks like we've had ourselves our first viable wreck here tonight, as we're going to page back here and see exactly what went on. All of a sudden, all kind of mayhem breaking loose. We'll go over here to the replay screen. And we're taking a look right now at Kyle Ryan in the 65. You're going to see him on the low side. He's the first car that we were able to see what was going on. And it looks like he's going to get a little bit too close to Austin's Story, and that would be... Oh, and there's all kinds of connection issues, too, as my goodness. Of course, go figure. The night that we've got inclement weather here on the East Coast is the night that I can't make it work. We're going to take a run back to the chopper. Now that we found it, folks, you know, please bear with us and understand that we're still here in internet land. We can see the 65 drifting up and just all kinds of mayhem breaking loose at the wrong moment.
And minutes since actually that's a lie. That's a lie. Last night I remember seeing a car doing a barrel roll, if I'm correct, down the front stretch.
It was a barrel roll. It was the front stretch, and it was kind of scary. But, you know, thankfully, I guess that is the benefit to being here in sim racing land versus everywhere else. Or in real life, that would be. But right now, wholesale pit stops and some more connection issues I see here with the 12 machine. Not sure what's going on with that.
84 car of Joseph Lester and 15 car has some right side damage. A lot of damage, I will say. Choosing to not get it fixed, as a 23 car is looking to get some damage fixed as that right side is beat up. I feel like it's a common thing at this track, especially with it can get tight later in the run or loose, especially trying to run a slide job. You can definitely hit that outside wall coming out of turn 2 and turn 4. I know I've personally done that. That's something that some of our drivers wish to not indulge and say, hey, we didn't do that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, so often, you know, you're trying to avoid. And one of the interesting things that I found last night in the Cup Series race is in fact, let me bring you here into our broadcast booth here on the cam down in the corner. One of the things that we were able to that I basically discovered last night was sometimes getting that damage delay or repaired doesn't matter. I had about 3 minutes of damage for most of that Cup Series race, and actually, to some degree, it made me better. It made the car just fine. I kept thinking about, let's see if I can get this, repaired. Let's see if I can get this taken care of. Never had a problem, Emily. Very interesting. I mean, I know that you had a very clean car there at the very end, but as we get ready to go back green, we've got Chase Cobber back up the top of the pile with Gabriel Lafreniere here, starting in P2. Logan Truitt in third, Eugenio Alonso in fourth, Bobby Anderson in fifth, Carlos Ramos in sixth, with Matt White, Kavaja Holt, Ryan Honeycutt, and Jeff Carson. There he is. We just talked about him riding around pretty deep back in the field a moment ago, and now he's getting ready to make a run here at the end of the stage here on lap number 52.
Yes, sir. As we have, I believe, 17 laps once we get across the line in green of this stage. Going to be a 17-lap shootout. I'm expecting a lot of drivers out here tonight to race extremely hard for this stage. I know myself finished and raced pretty hard for stage 2 of the Cup race, so I'm expecting a lot of drivers to possibly do that to get some stage points in. That's another thing they introduced this season. I will mention stage points as well as stages. I feel like they are fun, adds a little bit more competition, and makes it interesting for the whole race.
Well, and something that we've talked about before is getting through these stage races. It does change your strategy to some degree. As we're getting ready to come back green, Chase Cobber on the low side. He's got his finger on the button, pulls the trigger, hits the loud pedal, and we're back green flag racing. I see a pretty big checkup here in the back as these cars trying to get back moving.
And I will mention, checkups, definitely a big thing here, especially at Auto Club, when you can stack up that field going across that restart. I know at the start of the Cup race, I kind of got a dish of that on the first start, but that's something that this camera is beautiful.
Sometimes that's the beauty of doing this live on YouTube.com. We can let the pictures speak for themselves as we see these drivers coming out of turn 4 and getting ready to cross the start-finish line. Yet again, another connection issue. Unfortunately, folks, that's probably on me, as there's so many cars here flashing, and unfortunately, we're in the middle of some inclement weather here, as I'm just outside of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, about 15 minutes outside the city of brotherly love, and unfortunately, we're dealing with some really rough weather. I was just told moments before we went live on air that basically we were having some thunder showers. It was kind of strange.
Oh yeah, as 9 car Jeff Carson going to be trying to battle the 03 and 16 car to try to keep that spot, but like he mentioned, he's going to be just chilling, riding around the racetrack, running his groove around lap 135, which, hey, I fully support that as well. I know myself, Fred, likes doing that as well, so definitely one of the drivers that will run hard if he needs to, but if he doesn't, he won't.
Absolutely. Side by side go Bennett Allen and Jeff Carson. Of course, Bennett, the brother of RP Allen. We see Bennett working the low side. Jeff not using the low side as much as he did last night in the Cup Series, which, Emily, one of the things that I really like about Sim Racing Media having all 3 of these series is that we get to see all of these cars every night of the week. And,
oh, yeah.
Or at least Monday, Tuesday, or Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. And we get to see so many different aspects of racing itself, in all 3 levels of NASCAR's top series. And it tells such a cool story. And just as I say that, Logan Truitt deciding he wants to lead for a little while. He's going to go down here and try the slide job of the 93. Not sure if he's got the momentum as he gets down here. He's going to try to cut the corner a little bit. in the middle of the front quad oval, tri-oval, but he doesn't have it to get around Cobber. He's going to try again, though, once he gets his car cranked back up.
Yes, sir, as the 20 car remains. Sorry, lost for words. The 20 car did start on pole position, saying, hey, I want to get back to my position where I believe I belong. But that 20 car is definitely fast, definitely working on that 93 car, saying, hey, if you're going to be up there, I want to be up there with you.
And, you know, this is the week that we really have to be watching the points. I mean, basically, last week's points all came down to Daytona and how everybody performed at Daytona. But, you know, this week, this is where we're going to see a lot of drivers moving around. Aaron Mack currently sitting atop the pile in our season points, but right now, he's way back here in 34th. That's going to affect... Whoa, who just stepped out of line back here?
And I will say, from last night, I actually missed the Daytona. I was short of making the Daytona 500, kind of sad about that, but after finishing 5th last night, as a 66 car, definitely running between those as there's 3 wide coming out of turn 4 between the 07, 66, no, 07, 12, and the 00 car was 3 wide coming out of turn 4, but that 66 car is on the move, running that bottom line. As I mentioned last night, though, finishing 5th put me 14th on the standings for Cup after missing Daytona, so that's not too shabby. As the 12 cars also moving and grooving, passing the 07 and 00 cars, working to pass the 16 car, but if I know anything from last night, that 16 car is not going to give up without a fight. Definitely one of those cars that will say, hey, I'm here. If you want by me, you got to work for it. As 12 cars giving him a little bit of a bump, saying, wrecking
the
between the
07
12
gets right
and
into the
7
12. That'll turn him
cars.
sideways, but not sideways enough to bring out the caution as Brandon Minto step aside here, folks, as we just got a chance to look right at this. We're going to see Anthony Paggio in the 07. We're going to go right here to him. We're going to go right to his cockpit. As we're going to see right here, Paggio trying to get in. He gets a little tight and just gets right into the 12. I'll tell you what, folks, that is something that you don't see very often. Paggio, a very talented driver in his own right. And, you know, we don't see this very often. We're going to take one more look at this.
That 12 car might be done for the night, to be honest, the amount of damage he has.
Well, I didn't see him take a full-on nose right in there to the wall, but we stay green flag racing as Paggio. I was about to talk about him, too. He's up 18 positions from where he had started back in 36th. And here he sits in 18th. Of course, teammates with the 04 of Ricky Carmichael from Tallahassee, Florida. Of course, when I say Ricky Carmichael, I don't know if that scratches your brain at all, Emily, but that is the Ricky Carmichael, the GOAT of all that is motocross and supercross. Of course, had an appearance last season on the Dale Jr. Download, and humble iRacing sim racer here in the Monday Night NASCAR Xfinity Series. Great guy, and glad to see him out on track tonight with these other drivers, as he is now up 12 positions. Once again, biding his time, you know, here in stage number 2. But the story of the moment right now is Anthony Paggio in that 1110 Mods Toyota Supra. As we've got the caution
on the front stretch, it looked like.
There was smoke. Let's see if we can find the fire. As we can see right here, Ryan Honeycutt in the 56, maybe getting a little bit too close with the 39.
Ooh.
And now it looks like, here it comes.
Ooh, wall. A case of hitting the wall is what caused that. That comes back to, gotta be careful with running those slide jobs. Running that high line, is that wall can be dangerous and a night ender.
It absolutely can, but right now it looks like Honeycutt going to be trying to get himself some repair done. Maybe.
As Austin Story looks like he has retired from the race.
Let's see if we can find Austin quick. Bring Austin down to the broadcast booth. Austin Story, Dave Regal up in the broadcast booth. You got a copy, little brother?
What's up, man?
Hey, man, did you just retire from the race?
Yes, I did, unfortunately.
What's going on with the 23 car? Talk to us.
Oh, the 23 car is done. It is absolutely cooked up. It is destroyed. It's going to the junkyard. I don't know what's going to happen to it, but it's done.
Well, thank goodness on iRacing, a trip to the junkyard is more like Control-Alt-Delete and reset, right?
Exactly. Exactly, Dave.
Well, listen, you ran a strong race. Whoa, the 20 just trying to fake out and see if the 93 would go with him. But, I mean, last night you had a strong run in the Cup Series. Of course, RJ bringing home the checkered flag. What has this racetrack taught you here in its last night as a 5-wide kind of track?
It's taught me that you have to save tires. If you don't save tires, you're screwed. You're going to the back. Multiple people last night ran it too hard on the first 5-10 laps, and they would just fall off really big. So you have to save tires, take advantage of running higher on the racetrack so you get the better runoff. When your tires are worn. So that definitely helps. It's fun. It's fun. It's probably in my opinion, it's the best mile and a half, and it's a shame that we're getting rid of it.
Yeah, Emily and I were talking about it last night because, of course, she finished 5th and I finished 15th, which, as you and I both darn well know, you almost never see me up in that neighborhood. So,
Same here.
It's one of those tracks that, like you just said, is a lot of fun. But, and I agree with you, it's definitely sad to see it go. But, I mean, hey, 4th place in Cup last night, you're going to finish a little bit behind that tonight. But, buddy, there's always next week. What are you feeling about Las Vegas coming up?
Las Vegas is probably one of my worst tracks, so
Really?
I'm going to work hard at it. Yeah, I don't know why. It just is.
Let me tell you a little secret, because I've had this discussion with multiple drivers in multiple leagues. When you say that it's your worst track, I'm betting that you're going to spend a couple hundred laps practicing this week, right?
Probably.
Probably.
Probably. Most likely. Maybe.
Trust me, every time I go onto Discord, I'm like, oh, look, there's the guys again. Here's the thing. You sit there and you're going to practice the heck out of it, and although that it may not be your favorite track, I'd still put my money on you to finish, top 5 or 10 versus, the 8 car.
Oh, come on, Dave. You have more confidence, man.
Come on,
Listen,
Dave.
there's a good. I feel like Michael Waltrip. There's a good reason that they sent me to the booth.
See, no, Dave. Listen,
You
you're
are
a great driver. Yeah, you're a great driver, Dave. You gotta get that in your head, man. It's a confidence issue. That's what it is.
I bet one
That's
day
fair.
you'll beat me. You got it. I bet next week you'll beat me.
Listen, I say all the time. Every time when the 59, when Chad gets tied up in something, and I see him in the back, it's always weird to see Chad near the back. But listen, Austin, we got to cut you loose and send you on back to your Discord. But thank you for your time, and we will see you next week at Las Vegas.
All right, see you guys. What's up, Leo? What's up, Guy?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Leo's over there in the live chat. Go hang out with Leo.
All right, yeah, I'll go over there. All right,
That's
see
my
you
guy right there. See you, Austin. Emily, here's something that we can talk about ad nauseum. Austin Story, he's a little bit younger than you. He's most definitely younger than me. It's been interesting over the last few years to see these drivers at this level, specifically here in the Xfinity series, develop the way that they have. And I mean, it's not often that Austin winds up, wrecked and retiring this early in a race.
Yes, 100%. I know last night, he was the one to beat for me. Trying to get past him was definitely hard, as the 20 car has the trigger and pulls that trigger getting out into the lead in front of that 93 car. Expecting a lot of battling between the 20 and 93 cars tonight. Both of them are fast cars as the 20 cars going down low. I saw a little bit of sliding from that 20 car, a little bit of looseness, if you say so. As the 93 car is going to be going on the inside of the 20 car saying, hey, I'm here. and I want this spot. Working and running that bottom line, that is something that is same thing I saw last night and the same thing that's going to happen tonight all night.
Breaking news also, Austin, just here in our YouTube live chat. Looks like Bennett Allen's power went out as he must be in probably what I'm sitting in right now as we're watching these cars flash around the track. Well, this is frustrating. Here on lap number 68, we're just closing in now on the conclusion of stage 2 as we're on lap 68, working our way towards 70. Let's hope this stabilizes here.
2 laps to the good of this stage. 20 car and 98 car working up on the front of the field like a hornet's nest on the front of the field.
Michael Estudo here in the 39 Cookout Ford Mustang. He's working the low side of Andrew T. Jones. Of course, that's not the Andrew Jones who used to play for the Braves. That's Andrew Jones, who drives the number 94 Chevrolet Camaro here in the Monday Night NASCAR Xfinity Series, live on Sim Racing Media. Dave Regal and Emily Urias here in the the 39 catches the rear of the 94, but they managed to keep it together.
And
that was a Code Brown moment, just as Michael Estudo goes purple in segment 2 on that lap.
And I believe they were actually 3 wide for the lead. 3 wide for second, third, and fourth at the back. 2 wide for first and second. Definitely the race here tonight. Now he's going to be going low to block the 20 car. Who's going to get second place for this stage?
And here we are on the last lap in stage number 2. Chase Cabra trying to hold off Mike Wright, Logan Truitt, and Joseph Lester, as Joseph trying to throw the block in front of RP Allen. These 2 drivers going to be going at it hammer and tongs here at the conclusion of stage number 2. We can see 1, 2, 3 go the 93, the 98, and the 20 car down into turn number 3. Looks like Chase Cabra trying to, this is a close one, as Mike Wright looking to the inside of Chase. Cabra goes high here. Side by side go Cabra and Wright. They're side coming door handle to door handle. Wow! And just as they cross the start-finish line to conclude stage number 2 in the Monday Night NASCAR Xfinity Series Production Alliance 300, Chase Cabra just barely edging Mike Wright at the start-finish line here. That was an impressive finish to stage number 2. Let's see if I can find Chase here in Discord. I don't know if he's in Discord.
I don't think he is. I tried finding him.
Well, that's all right. We're going to go to Mike Wright. I know I can always count on him. So here we are. Mike Wright, Dave Regal up in the broadcast booth. You got a copy, brother?
I got a copy.
Hey, man, first time we get to talk this season, and unfortunately it's because you finished second here in stage 2. What was going on, man?
I think it ultimately came down to the restart when we got going. Once we took the tires, the lane I was in, the outside lane, did not go at all. So I lost pretty much any track position and had to work my way back up. And it just, with the caution, it took away a few of those laps. So the 93 and the 20 up here, they're fast as it is. And so it's nice to be up here with them, have some fun.
Yeah, you know, I didn't get a chance to talk about it very much tonight, but usually I'm used to just watching you logging laps here on these intermediate tracks because this was definitely one of your bread and butter style tracks. And, you know, the 2-miler, I don't want to say that it's an intermediate track because it's not a 1.5 miles, but it's still not a super speedway. What kind of, you know, strategy are you using on a track that's like this where it's not really big, but it's not really small?
It's different than, you know, your 1.5 mile tracks. You know, there's a lot of room with how they got the outside lane working here with some extra grip. It wears the tires, but you can make some speed. So tire wear is a management, and I think we'll see that on the long run. Hopefully we'll get some long runs and see what we all have for it.
All right, man. Well, listen, I don't want to distract you here on your pit stop, so we're going to cut you loose and send you on back up there. But thank you for your time, and we will see you hopefully on the other side.
You got it.
As whole still pit stops from the whole field here tonight, working lap 73 out of 150. end of stage 2, working on to stage 3, the end of the race. Definitely green flag pit stops coming around soon. Like Jeff Carson mentioned, I believe that was him, 38 to 45 laps of fuel. Definitely going to be seeing green flag pit stops around lap 100, 135, give and a take. Definitely around those times, we're definitely going to start seeing some pit strategies come into play. 16 car Zach Osborne, hometown of Vermont. One of the fast cars I see out here tonight in first place came out. Has a little bit of damaged car, but able to be in first right now, working that. One of the fast cars here tonight.
Without a doubt. And, you know, some of these cars, as we're looking here, from about Zachary Vaughn on up. So 5th place to 1st place, these cars did not come down for pit services. They were all last down on lap 64. So they've got a few lap older tires, but I've got to put my money on some of these guys to be up here battling it out.
Yes, sir. As UNC wins. What? Oh, my bad.
Now with the pace car lights out, Zach Osborne going to be on the inside of row number 1 with Brad Gunn on his outside. Matt Gaskins and Ricky Carmichael going to be in row number 2 with Ricky down there on the low side. Chase Cobber in the 93 alongside Zachary Vaughn. Chase, of course, coming down after that stage 2 win. Going to come down for pit service with RP Allen, brother of Bennett Allen, who, according to our sources on YouTube, and yeah, Leo, same thing. Leo Bonacasa says his route that Bennett Allen's router blew, and the other issue is that this one, this router here. I mean, we're hardwired, but unfortunately, the weather here, just outside of Philly, starting to affect our connection. So let's hope that we can keep this thing rolling, because this is one of those races that I do not want to miss a single lap of. And by the way, Leo, if this one blows a motor, can I get a router from Money House Racing too, since we're feeling generous? As Zach Osborne going to have his finger on the button, that pedal, that foot hovering just above the loud pedal. He's on the inside. He's got Ricky Carmichael behind him. That whole inside lane nice and tight, nice and straight. And here we go. Green flag in the air, and we are back racing. The cars fan out so incredibly here at this track. We can see this right here from our chopper cam high above the track. Of course, now the chopper cam wants to... Maybe the chopper cam doesn't want to cooperate. As we are, wow, catching the caution. And there is pandemonium in the ring, and of course it looks even worse because I can't see anything. iRacing Timing and Scoring has done a complete 180 on what's going on here. So, folks, we're going to step aside and try to correct these connection issues.
Caution's out.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
What's up, guys? Roger Debo, front tire changer for the 45 Alpha Prime car. You're watching Sim Racing Media.
Welcome back to Fontana, California. Lap number 79 of 150 here at Auto Club Speedway in the Monday Night NASCAR Xfinity Series 300 here as we've got about 22 laps to go to the end. You'll have to forgive us, folks, for those connection issues. Hopefully everything has decided to smooth itself out as we're facing some pretty ugly weather here in southeastern Pennsylvania here in the Mid-Atlantic states. As I'm just outside of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, I'm Dave Regal, and she is my broadcast partner, Emily Urias. Emily, we have had one heck of a race so far this evening.
Yes, sir. As wrecking
the 91
caution comes out.
Oh my, let's take a run back and see what's happening. Well, folks, we came back just in time to see the green flag drop, and now we get to see another mess here as we see the 91 washing up the racetrack here and getting just a little bit too close and getting right into Mike Wright. Oh, that is disappointing as a son of a gun. We're going to take a look back once more. You'll have to forgive us as some of these car paints are reloading. We're going to go right to the chopper. Let's see if the chopper doesn't do us like she did before. We're going to see the 91 getting tight coming out of 2. That air push just dragging him up the racetrack. And that's when the mayhem ensues. We see Mike Wright go down. Looks like Austin's story involved. That spins. Oh, that's the 04. That is the 04. Sorry about that. Of Ricky Carmichael back here trying to recover. So, folks, it's an interesting restart to this race as we're back under caution at lap number 81.
Yes, sir, as that 66 car is pretty clean, and the 93 car. Definitely going to be an interesting finish working on lap 82 of 150 here at Fontana. Ford kind of being strong right now. Ford's 1-2, then I see 4 Yodas in the back. Ford and Yoda's kind of working it out tonight.
Yeah, definitely an interesting mix there of blue ovals and silver ovals, as there's not a single bow tie until Gabriel Lafreniere back here in 12th position as our friend from the north.
As third looks like 7th is all Toyotas. Or Toyotas, tomatoes, what I like to
Toyota
say.
if you're over the age of 70 and you're still not really sure about foreign cars. My grandfather, I would say God rest his soul, but we didn't really get along. So my grandfather could never say Toyota, it was always Toyota. Just like he never could say Home Depot, it was Home Depot. I don't understand. And folks of a certain age will always remember Heckinger, which was the home superstore before Home Depot or Lowe's really bursted onto the scene. And trust me, my grandfather was one of those people. Toyota, Home Depot, and I can't believe Heckinger went out of business. That was his chant for so long, Emily, and I know that you have no idea what Heckinger was.
No, I do not, but I know what Sears it was.
Okay, well, Heckinger was not Sears, and Sears wasn't Heckinger. But you know what? Speaking of Sears, so you're gonna get a sit down and listen to Uncle Dave tell a dumb story. So I was on Facebook the other day and happened to see Sears. You could buy a house from Sears for $938 in 1912. And I thought, okay, so you're going to buy a whole house. I had to look and ask more questions. No, you didn't buy a house and they didn't deliver it like Amazon next day. They brought you the materials so you could build your own, like it was a Lego set. And you paid extra if you wanted bricks and mortar. It was incredible. It was incredible. But I just thought to myself, $938, and you could get it on Sears, or from, not even on Sears. You had to go into the Sears catalog. And
today, that's probably what, 2,000, something like that, more?
Oh gosh, I have no idea. I don't even want to venture. But you know, one of the things, you know what, now you're going to make me look that up. But one of the things that I always think about is, you know, now you've got the entire Amazon catalog right in your phone. You can get on Amazon right now and you can order damn near anything you want, and it can be delivered tomorrow from your phone. The Sears catalog was bigger than what guys in the building trades know as the Grainger catalog. The Sears catalog was bigger than the Bible. But
funny enough, Amazon A to Z, they sell literally everything from A to Z, and when I mean everything, everything.
Well, we can talk about everything in just a few moments, but right now, as we get ready to cross the start-finish line on lap 84, the iRacing.com pace car getting ready to dive down pit road, Emily.
Yes, sir, as we get ready to rock and roll, 93 and 20 again on that first row, going past the Geico restart zone, and green, a little stack up in the back of the field. Rock and roll and get this under going. A lot of 3 wide, 4 wide. I'm seeing Joseph Lester to keep notice in the back now because of that wreck, but I believe I'm going to start seeing him move up like he is now. He's rolling through that field like it is a highway going 90 when it's 60.
Joseph Lester is currently ignoring that funny-looking pedal in the middle that slows you down. Joseph said, I need to get back up front, and I need to get up there now. And he's not going to be wasting any time as he's creeping up on the rear of Eugenio Alonso and Bobby Anderson in the 86 and the 46. Just ahead of them in the 95, John Crow Sr. in the Blue Lives Matter United We Stand Chevrolet Camaro. He's got the high side, and it looks like he's not going to easily give up. Wow! To Joseph Lester as Joseph getting closer and closer. And, you know, this is something that you and I have seen before, both from the broadcast booth and from the racetrack. Joseph he kind of reminds me of Becky the Icebox O'Shea from the Little Giants movie. Ed O'Neill turns to the side and they said, who's that cheerleader? That's not a cheerleader, that's my niece. And she's pissed. Right now, Joseph Lester is out there driving a car that my niece would probably appreciate because it's a Barbie car. And he's pissed. He wants to get back up there and he wants to get up there now.
Joseph Lester is moving and grooving. Currently, Working on P13, I believe he was back into 23rd if I was correct on that restart.
He did restart 2030s up to 13th right now. Carlos Ramos and Anthony Paggio going at it yet again as they were just swapping positions. Right now, driver to keep your eye on is here in the 11 car. This is Mr. Lauren Jones. He's driving for Joe Gibbs Racing here in the number 11 Cheetos Toyota Supra. And take a look at this young man here. He has managed to get the 11 up here into 5th place. The new Smyrna Beach, Florida native, always celebrating the good times with his Cheetos paint scheme. Always easy to find here. Up 27 positions. However, Lauren is not the biggest mover. Anthony Paggio is, as he's here in the 1110 Mods 07 Toyota Supra. He is up 30 positions. That's a lot of work.
Yes, sir. As that Cheetos car is looking flaming hot tonight, working into 3rd place. Funny enough, flaming hot. I didn't even see that phrase on it. I just saw cheese.
Look at you.
But working on that, definitely an eye to see out here tonight. 16 cars still moving and grooving, working on that, as Joseph Lester is also working up, still in 13th. But he is moving in, grooving, getting that car on that thin edge line. You can definitely see, as I'm going to hand it to Dave.
And, and Joseph is sitting here behind the number 10 Dasani Toyota Supra, driven by Mr. Consistency, you guessed it, Chris Claude, the chief cook and bottle washer of the SNN Cup Series. Chris riding the high side tonight. All of those JGR cars last night in the Cup Series had a good night, and Chris not phased whatsoever by Lester as he gets spun around by the 66. Oh, Chris. Oh, my goodness. Well, let's take a run back and see that because, Chris is one of these drivers that is always hitting his marks time and time again, and this time it looks like he just hit the wrong mark. And maybe it was the broadcaster's curse. Maybe it's something that maybe I need to apologize to him for if I cursed him. As we're going to take a look right here, we see him get just behind Lester, and as he's holding his line, the 66 thought that he saw an opening that wasn't there and just took Chris out as he also backs into the 95 of John Crow Sr. And Emily, that's a shame. That's a tough break for Chris, as the JGR cars were so strong last night, and now he has just gotten punted all the way to the rear.
Yes, sir. As still 1, 2, and 3, 93, 20, and the 03 car, funny enough, in 3rd place. 4th place is gonna be going to Anthony Paggio on the number 06, 16th of Zach Osborne in 5th place, and we got Chris in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes.
Chris, listen, I'm sorry in advance. I just put the camera on you, and I just called you Mr. Consistency for the first time this season, and you promptly got whacked by Dylan Ackart. How are you feeling right now?
The consistency still is intact. It's like I guess the fault was not on me, but nevertheless we're gonna come get a little damage fixed and see what we got to work with.
Yeah, right now as I'm seeing you here coming down pit road and now in your pit stall, looks like that front right tire has seen better days, as it's definitely towed out, and right now you don't have to worry about overheating, as that is now an air-cooled engine in the front of the number 10.
Yeah, well, pull some tape off nevertheless, and looks like we got about a minute or so of repairs to get done, so I will get all that I can get done without going a lap down, and fix the rest of it if there's another caution.
All right, man. Well, listen, we're going to go up and quick grab Lauren because I saw him up there in top 5. So, Chris, good luck to you the rest of the way, and we will see you next week at Las Vegas for sure.
All right. Thanks, Dave.
That was Chris Claude, and we're going to quick take a moment to talk with Lauren Jones here in the number 11 machine. As Lauren Jones, Dave Regal up in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. How you doing?
Hey, man, listen. New Smyrna Beach is proud of you tonight as you had the number 11 cranked up 27 positions just a moment ago in the top 5. How are you feeling about this machine tonight?
I feel better about another 4 positions, but yeah, it's all right. I'm happy. It feels pretty good.
You know, I just had to apologize to Chris because I wasn't sure. You know, there I was talking about him. I just called him Mr. Consistency for the first time this season, and he promptly got whacked by the 66. But, you know, here we are, lap 92 of 150. What are you feeling going into this last leg of the race?
I'm feeling this is where everyone starts really buckling down and get serious. I mean, it's you know, the first 98% of the race doesn't matter. It's the last bit. So I'm just going to do all I can, stay alert, try to survive, help my teammates out, and see what we can do.
All right, man. Well, listen, good luck the rest of the way, and maybe we'll see you there on the podium toward the end.
Yeah, I hope I get to talk to you. Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, Lauren. That's Lauren Jones from Joe Gibbs Racing, the pride of New Smyrna Beach, Florida. And Emily, we're looking like we're just inside of 60 laps to go. And we've got a new race leader up here, Zach Osborne in the 16 machine, with Doug Argabright on the outside in the 41, R.P. Allen in his 03 Microsoft Toyota Supra, Logan Truitt, your pole sitter, here in 4th position, Kavaja Holt in the 00. That's going to be, listen, I'm going to call it right now, from Waynesboro, Kavaja Holt, he is going to be on the podium. Last night he ran a strong race, and tonight, here he is.
Can I just mention, biggest mover currently, up 31 spots into 2nd place. Doug, I'm not even going to try pronouncing that last name, because Argabright.
Argabright. It's okay, Doug. We apologize.
I am so sorry. I'll get that next time. As we get ready to go green, 16 cars gonna be at the Geico restart, gonna have his pedal to the metal and push it to the metal, getting a decent gap off of the whole field. A lot of damaged cars I see, but as 20 cars working on the outside saying, hey, I pitted, I came out a little bit faster than I wanted to, I'm gonna work my way up and try to get back to first. Ooh, a little wiggle out of that 20 car, a little bit of almost 3-wide action between the 2041 and 86 car. Definitely amazing racing here on this restart. 41 car is going to be going low, 16 car is going to be getting passed up by that number 03 car, possibly going to be getting a lap led.
Taking a look right now. Oh, wow. Taking a little bit of grass with him is Logan Truitt. He's down here in the 20 machine. He decided to do a little bit of landscaping. We're going to run that back real quick, as that was impressive to keep it moving straight because, you know, these cars, especially once you get down on that grass, we're going to see him right behind the 03 here of R.P. Allen. The R.P. tries to get him down there and does so successfully. Truitt able to hold his ground and make sure he keeps it moving straight, but we are under caution yet again. Let's take a look as, oh no, something very, very bad has happened here. We're going to take a run back and look. Looks like Eugenio Alonso involved in some kind of kerfuffle further back. As we see Eugenio here in the 86. We're going to have to watch and see. He gets off the throttle and, oh, looks like he wants to tango. Oh, it comes right down into Joseph Lester. And, oh my. That's going to just about do it for Joseph. That's going to just about do it for Joseph here as we're going to look from the blimp, as we can see yet again. Eugenio looks like he just got a little bit looser. Maybe that's just a racing deal there, as it just spins and makes all kinds of mess. I did see Lauren Jones nearby. We'll take a look and see if he was able to avoid it. Uh-oh, I don't see a hood anymore on that number 11. Take a look here. Oh, and Lauren Jones had no place to go. Well, under caution yet again. Let's see if I can find Joseph. Joseph Lester, Dave Regal up in the broadcast booth. You got a copy, little brother?
I got you.
Hey, man, listen, what happened there between you and Eugenio? From up here, it kind of looked like a racing deal, but what did you feel down there in the car?
It looked like he just came down a little too much, and I wasn't expecting that. And then once we made contact, it just overcorrected and went into the wall.
Yeah, you know, you've had a couple of rough nights, you know, on the racetrack before, but I mean, this one kind of stings. I mean, you know, last night, I don't remember where you finished last night in Cup Series racing. I'm looking
I wasn't
now.
able to make it last night.
That's why I didn't see you. Well, that makes a lot of sense. Sorry, some of us are old and can't remember things. But, you know, I mean, here's the thing. Number one, I love the paint scheme. There's just something special that says you're confident as a young man to go out there with Barbie on the car.
Well, I mean, I don't know what to say. It's just something that touches my heart.
It's all right.
Man.
Listen, it's something different.
It just touches my heart.
You got a little sister, don't you?
Yeah.
See, there you go. There it makes sense. Anyway, but you know what? A rough night here on the track tonight. So what are you thinking as next week we're getting ready to go to Las Vegas?
I love that track, man. It's probably one of my favorites out there. Just ready to get at it, and I'm excited.
Yeah, I mean, I'm expecting to see you and RJ go at it door handle to door handle most of that race.
Oh yeah, for sure. Hopefully.
All right, man. Well, listen, we're going to cut you loose and send you on back up there if you want to drag yourself up into your Discord. But tell your dad we said hi, and good luck next week in Las Vegas.
Yeah, 10-4, man.
That was Joseph Lester, driver of the number 84 Chevrolet Camaro. And you know what? There are times, Emily, where I think it's more frustrating to be the driver that, you know, for me, I'm usually middle to rear of the pack, so I'm just out there to have a good time with a bunch of friends. But when you're somebody like Joseph, who's continually competitive up atop the pile, you know, this is a really frustrating end to the night.
Oh yeah, 100%. And I know last night, I got very, and when I mean lucky, I mean too lucky to. I should have got a lottery ticket, to be honest. Let's be real. Normally, I never run up on the top of the field, but I'll get back to that later as pace car is going to be diving back down to the infield as the 03 car is going to be your race leader currently. Going to be coming out of turn 4. Pace car is going to be jumping down to the pits as we get ready to go green in the Geico restart zone. Larry up in the flag booth has the flag to wave. And the 03 is going to be putting his pedal to the metal. Green, green, green. Here we go.
And as these cars take the green flag, we're going to step aside and let you folks at home turn it up here on Sim Racing Media.
What's up, guys? Roger Diebold, front tire changer for the 45 Alpha Prime car. You're watching Sim Racing Media.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling. With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
What's up, guys? Roger Diebold, front tire changer for the 45 Alpha Prime car. You're watching Sim Racing Media.
Thank you, Roger Diebold. Of course, the front tire changer there in the Truck Series. He races in the Thunderclap iRacing Series here on Sim Racing Media. They'll be getting ready to go back into action in a couple of weeks here on SRM. Right now, as they run, Logan Truitt here in first position. He's leading this piece by about 0.8 of a second, now 0.9 of a second over RP Allen. Of course, when we say the usual suspects up front, this is it. Anthony Paggio has worked his way all the way up into third position, up 33 positions. Zach Osborne in fourth, and Chase Cabra rounding out the top five. Of course, Chase winning stage number 2 has backed down into fifth position. It looks like he's trying to peak here on the inside of Zach Osborne. Emily, we've had a great race tonight as we're now 40 to go to the end.
Yes, sir. This race has gone by so fast, to be honest. 150 laps you'd think would feel like it'll be long, but with how good these drivers out here been tonight, strapped into their cars and racing like it's nothing out here tonight at Fontana. Definitely something to watch as the 93 car is working their way back up, passing that 16 car. Something that kind of expected, to be honest, in these long runs. 93 car is the fast one and the 20 car, but definitely going to be cars to be looking at here tonight, especially the 9 car, especially on the lead lap and looking to start running it down to lap 138. So he's getting close to starting to put the metal to the pedal.
Yeah, and you know, Jeff Carson is one of these drivers who he loves him a long green flag run. And I know that he was very frustrated last night as we caught the caution bug toward the end of last night's Cup Series race. And even as he had finished in 4th position, you know, he's definitely one of these drivers where his setups, he's building them himself, and he much prefers to go ahead and get that long green flag run because he knows that Alexander Gangler is a driver that can't always hang on to it, you know, late into a run, so he knows he can try to pick that off. Corey Burkett, we haven't talked about him much tonight, and I do want to highlight that usually we're talking about Corey Burkett because he usually has some type of involvement in a wreck. Now, I do see that he's a little crinkled here on the right rear of his number 13 Ford Mustang, sponsored by 1110. And, you know, usually as he just kisses the wall a little bit, he's one of those drivers that oftentimes we're talking about negatively, but tonight he has gotten himself up into 8th position. So, you know, something that we talk about from time to time, there are those drivers that are kind of like a wild card on a super speedway. And what we've seen between last night in the Cup Series and tonight here in the Xfinity Series on Sim Racing Media, this has suddenly become a wild card race. And it makes me curious what's going to happen when we go to Atlanta in a couple of weeks. Oh, no. We're going to run this back right now, folks, because I'll tell you what, just as I was saying that, you know, Atlanta is a similar racetrack, you know, in that 2 mile, mile and a half realm, if you will. We see the 16 just getting loose, rubbing the wall out of 2 and shooting himself down here onto the apron. And, you know, we see it so often. It's not the end of the world. Zach Osborne is a talented driver and can get himself back up there. So if you're in the YouTube live chat cheering on Zach Osborne, hopefully he can get it moving. And, you know, I'm looking here in the YouTube live chat, and it looks like Leo Bonacasa has decided that I'm out here jinxing people tonight. And let's see if I can find Leo, as he's always hunting, sneaking around up here in the Money House Racing chat. Let's see. Leo Bonacasa, come on down. Leo Bonacasa, Dave Regal up in the broadcast booth. Do you have a copy, sir?
Hey, what's going on, Dave?
My man, Pots and Pans. So, you know what? You're probably not wrong. I'm more than likely jinxing people like a son of a gun tonight.
Yeah, you got Chris tonight. You got Joseph. You got Lauren. You got Zach just now. I don't know.
I mean,
keep your eyes off the Money House Racing cars next week, eh?
I mean, I'll try to stay away from the rest of them. Who can I click on? Anthony Paggio? I mean, if I keep this up, I mean, I'm going to wind up wrecking half the field. And
Yeah,
to
I
be
know.
fair, I'm used to being afraid of wrecking half the field from the driver's seat, but tonight I'm doing it from the broadcast booth. That takes talent.
I know. Just don't put the camera on yourself again. You might fall out of your chair.
I'm pretty well strapped in here, and unfortunately, I forgot to bring an adult beverage with me into the broadcast booth, so I'm going to sit pretty firm tonight. But any other time, there's usually a glass of Angel's Envy within arm's reach. But Zach Osborne, Chase Cobb are coming down here. What are you seeing tonight from high up there in the owner's box?
No, this is unfortunately this is the last race of this track. It's a tire saving track. You got to save your tires. Know when to push, know when to check back and save, and not be overly aggressive. So, interesting to see how this last green flag stops are going to work here. If we go green from here, this is the money stop. So, a couple of these guys are going to come in, top off, get some 4 fresh good years on her, and send them back out.
Without a doubt. And you know what? I have to agree with you. I do have to agree with you that, you know, this track has suddenly become kind of a wild card. We see a lot of different names up atop the pile, kind of like when we go to Daytona or Talladega, where, you know, last week in the Truck Series, Tony Burt brings home his first checkered flag ever, you know, and so many of us that are used to hanging in the back. I mean, last night you and I were passing one another left and right, and usually I'm just riding around the back trying to stay alive.
Yeah, I got caught up. I had a fast car last night, Money House. We had some good cars built by TWRS. Shout out to them. Kenny Coppola is always doing his thing over there. But you know, we had some fast cars, got caught up in some wrecks. But don't forget, you still owe me a pair of underwear from last night. Send it in there on turn 1 on me there late in the race.
I definitely
I'll hold you to
do.
that.
I definitely do. You know, and as we're going to take a run back here and look at this wreck here with Zach Osborne. You know, last night there were certain times where I swear to God, you know, it felt like the car was just handling on a rail, and all of a sudden, you know, I think I got a little overconfident. As we're taking a look right now at Zach Osborne, he bit some apron coming out of turn 3 into 4, and fortunately, oh, wow. Speaking of needing a new pair of underwear, Alexander Gangler just barely flirting with disaster right there. So, Tony, Leo, I'm gonna cut you loose, and I'm gonna go see if I can find Gangler.
All right, Dave. I appreciate you doing this every week, man. I do genuinely enjoy tuning in and listening to your broadcast every week.
Man, I appreciate you guys make this fun. So, I appreciate you, Leo, and I will talk to you next week, I'm sure.
All right, sounds good, brother.
That is the great Leo Bonacasa, the godfather of all that is SNN, and we're going to quick go back here live because somehow I managed to do that wrong. And let's see here. We're going to see if we can get a hold of Alexander Gangler. Hey, Gangler, it's Regal up in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
I do.
Hey, man, listen. Do you need some new underwear?
No.
Mike.
Yeah, so far.
My God, I just watched you barely flirt with disaster there, right with the 16. You managed to get that corn car right through the grass, and now you've taken the money stop and really leveled out the field. What are you thinking about as you're way up here where we don't normally see you, bud?
Well, I got some repairs. I got taken care of. I don't know if I got that through the grass or touched the wall once, so I'm going to get that taken care of, and we'll keep running. I don't know. We're doing good.
You definitely are, man. All right, well, listen, good luck to you tonight, and we will see you next week.
See you.
That, of course, Alexander Gangler there in the 82 corn car. And, you know, I got to be honest, Alexander's a great race controller. He's been race control for at least the last year and a half in the Cup Series. So always glad to spend some time with him. Currently looking here, the 1110 guys must be in their own Discord, as I can't pull any of them into the broadcast. So I guess I'm going to have to have a chat with them because it'd be nice if I could find them and talk to them while they're out here on track. Speaking of the 1110 guys, everybody's kind of shuffled around right now. Ricky Carmichael getting some repair done here on pit road. Mark Brewster still getting repairs done. Jeff Carson coming off of pit road after the money stop, going to be coming out in 10th position, M.
Yes, sir, as we're working lap 122 after the line of 150. Everybody should and will be able to make it to the end of the race. It's just all about saving tires at this point. Definitely going to be an interesting race here tonight with these 30 laps to go. I'm expecting nothing less from these drivers out here tonight to be putting on a good show for the rest of the night. But as we get ready to go green, pace car lights are off the car, looks like. Drivers are getting up line side by side. So far, see the fastest lap time so far.
Logan Truitt going to be on the inside of run number 1 with RP Allen right alongside him on the outside. I'll tell you what, being on that high side is not a bad place to be, especially when you're trying to avoid the mayhem that can occasionally break out here, if you will. Tony Burt back out on track here in the 4 car. He's down about 10 laps, but still logging laps nonetheless. Ricky Carmichael up 23 positions in 12th position right now, but Anthony Paggio still the story of the night. Started 36, currently running in 4th position. And you know what? I hate to keep hearkening back to last night's Cup Series race, but yours truly here started 39th and finished 15th. So what Anthony Paggio has done is absolutely incredible. As Logan Truitt comes into the Geico restart zone, hits the loud pedal, and we're back green flag racing.
Yes, sir, as the 20 car gets a decent-sized lead, and seeing that number 66 car up into third place for one of the few times here tonight, looking to hold that position, but the 20 car is walking away with that lead right now, showing who's boss and saying, hey, have fun catching me, to be honest.
Well, right now it's his race to lose, if you will. At this stage in the game, he's just got to go out there and hit his marks. He's got to go out there and make it happen. And you know what? He's at a point where he can really do that. You know, as he comes through the trioval, we're going to be at just about 27 to go. 26 to go here on lap 124 of 150. Zach Osborne still down on pit road. Coming back, looks like he's going to be serving for a black flag, as well as Doug Argabright. John Bawalda III, chief cook and bottle washer of the Jackdown Motorsports Truck Series on Tuesday nights. And folks, just a little programming note as we're back under caution. Bear with me 1 second. As we are able to put that up on the screen. Tomorrow night at 8:30, the Jackdown Motorsports Truck Series is having an off week. So, unfortunately, no truck racing tomorrow night, but our regular season continues on Sunday night, of course, with Sunday Night NASCAR, the SNN Cup Series. Sunday Night NASCAR Cup Series going to be live from Las Vegas right here on Sim Racing Media. Tony Trapasso and Matt Metler in the broadcast booth with you for that one. As we'll be running the Pennzoil 400, 267 laps out there in the desert. So going to be a long night in Las Vegas, but I'll tell you what, that's definitely one of those races that you don't want to miss. And speaking of not wanting to miss anything, let's take a look back here and see what might have happened with Corey Burkett, as I just got done talking about him. So, Leo, there you go. I jinxed another one. As Corey Burkett here running the high side just over top of Jeff Carson. Oh, and he takes Carson with him, but does Carson... Oh, wow. Jeff Carson, I know that the lucky dog is generally reserved for cars down a lap, but Jeff Carson just barely avoided positive disaster. Meanwhile, teammate and commissioner of the Sunday Night NASCAR Cup Series, Chris Claude, all the way up here into 8th position right now, with Alexander Gangler in 6th, Carlos Ramos in the 97. He's running in 5th position with Anthony Paggio, Dylan Eckhardt, R.P. Allen, and Logan Truitt. Rounding out the top 5, it's going to be an interesting night. Now, of course, next week with the Cup Series on Sunday night, then we'll be back with you next Monday night here on Monday Night NASCAR Xfinity Series Racing. We'll also be running at Las Vegas in the Alsco Uniforms 300, so 200 laps out there in the desert. Going to be a long night on that 1.5 mile speedway. And I'll tell you what, Emily, I really do have a thing for Las Vegas. To me, it's just a really neat racetrack to be at. And, of course, then next Tuesday night, we'll be with you again. It'll be me, and I forget who's coming along with me. But it'll be 134 laps for the Victoria's Voice Foundation 200 Las Vegas Motor Speedway race on the Jackdown Motorsports Truck Series.
Yeah, I think it's... I'd have to double check on that. I'm not sure who's with you on the Tuesday night. But I know I'm with you on Monday night next week. And Sunday, 200 plus laps at Vegas. Ooh, that's going to be a long night.
It's going to be a long night. Yes, ma'am.
I didn't even realize how many laps it was till you said so.
No, that's going to be the night that you want to sit on that gel cushion in your racing rig or in your office chair, whatever you're racing from.
I'm sitting on the pillow right now, and that still doesn't help. My booty was hurting after the 200-lap race at Auto Club. So, we'll see how that goes as the pace car lights are off of that iRacing.com pace car. 20 car and 03 car is going to be in your first row. Second row is going to be the 66 and 07. Third row is going to be number 97 and 82 car, rounding out your top 6 cars here tonight.
It'll be 23 laps to go when we come back to the start-finish line as we're diving down the backstretch here. Right now, I can only imagine what everybody's feeling. Everybody's got those freshies on board. Everybody coming down pit road on lap 120 with the exception of Ryan Honeycutt and Bobby Anderson. They're going to have 5-lap newer tires. Now, with 24 laps to go, I don't know how much of an impact that's going to make for them. Maybe they'll be able to get ahead of Carmichael and Burkett, but beyond that, not so much. So, especially because once you get past Carmichael and Burkett, you're getting into the cream of the crop here in the Xfinity series. So, as we see the iRacing.com pace car bringing them out of turn number 4 one more time, let's hold our breath and see if we can see green from the man in the stand with the green flag in his hand. Truex comes into the Geico restart zone. The flag waves, and we are back racing.
As we are green, 20 car is going to be taking off. The 03 car has been working up. The 03 car has been fast all night, but Chris Claude jumping back up into his position, working after that wreck that he had earlier that unfortunately got broadcaster first, but still making up spots, working on that. I don't believe, is he lapped down or no?
Chris Claude is back on the lead lap here, running in 9th position. He's up 21 positions from where he had started. He has teammate Jeff Carson on his 6 as they work their way through the front stretch on lap 129. And I'll tell you what, there is an angry hornet's nest behind them as they are 3 and 4 wide behind them. Drivers still looking for any kind of real estate that they can grab. Right now, the last 2 drivers on the lead lap are Mark Brewster and Bobby Anderson as we've gone back to green. Listen, right now, and I know that you've never been out here in Philly, but right now this kind of looks like rush hour in the Schuylkill Expressway, I-76, that just completely is usually a parking lot. I've always thought that it was interesting. It's a highway that for some reason you don't move on. But right now, these drivers are kind of looking like it's rush hour on a Monday morning, and right now, nobody's looking to give anything up. As they are 4 wide. Oh, a little bit of contact here with the 13. That sends Carmichael down in the end. Oh, and Carmichael comes back up the racetrack. He's spinning around. Oh, my goodness.
Like they say, the big one at Daytona, the big one at Auto Club.
Yeah, I don't know who they is or who said that, but I think you heard it here first, folks, from Emily Urias. We're going to take a run back here because that is a frustrating way. After you've come so far in this race, we're going to take a look right here. Oh, first off, what's the first mistake here, folks? If we were running a class on how to race anywhere, the first mistake is that we're 4 wide, and that's a scary formation, so as it is. We're going to hit play here. We go 4 wide, and we just see the 04. Oh, that's so disappointing for him, too. I love talking to Ricky Carmichael, and I know that that's a rough night for him. And it's almost like my 5-year-old just took his micro machines and threw them all across the floor.
John Beralda and Joseph Atkinson, looks like they retired from the race. Rough night out here tonight. Chris Claude now in P9, still working his way up. Bounced back after that unfortunate mishap that he had earlier in the race, working to possibly get a top 5 position. But 20 laps to go, going to be roughly 18 if I am correct, maybe 17 laps to go once we get ready to go green.
And just before we get ready to go green, we're going to step aside one last time here and pay some bills on Sim Racing Media.
What's up, guys? Roger Diebel, front tire changer for the 45 Alpha Prime car. You're watching Sim Racing Media.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
What's up, guys? Roger Diebel, front tire changer for the 45 Alpha Prime car. You're watching Sim Racing Media.
All right, and we are back from that commercial break. 20 car and 06 car going to be leading this field to green. Pace car lights are off. Pace car going to be dipping down to the infield. Let's get racing. 20 car has been leading a lot tonight. Getting into that Geico restart zone, having the pedal to the metal and kicks it off. 20 car, you can just see that left front lifting up with how much horsepower these cars have. That Ford Mustang leading it into turn 1. 93 car is going to be moving down to the bottom line of the 03 car saying, hey, I want to be here. Let me be here. But battling out between the 03 and 93 car, 17 laps to go. It's going to be an interesting race as the 20 car is taking off, as the 82 car is going to be battling the 66 car for that position and working his way up. And like you mentioned earlier, the 82 car can be good on that short run, and looks like a 17 lap short run is what he got. I say short run, but it's a mid to short run, I guess. But definitely working up into that 6th position and working that outside line. 07 car is going to be running that bottom line, trying to make a move on him, running that slide job. Battling out up for 4th and 5th. The 66 car is going to be pushing that number 97 car, I believe. 82 gets past the 03 car. A lot of battling going on right now with 16 laps to go. Leader is definitely pulling ahead of the field right now with almost 3/10 second gap between the first and second. Definitely pulling as the 97 car and 66 car been fast all night, and it is paying off as battling And it comes down to it. Jeff Carson, like we mentioned earlier, said, hey, we're getting down to 15 laps to go. It is go time. He is moving and grooving. Definitely running fast laps out here tonight, making moves. 82 car up against that wall. Definitely running a little slower line. 03 car gets loose. Ooh.
A lot of people being affected by those cold tires from the money stop, as we've now, of course, got 14 to go. And at least you were listening to me once tonight, as Jeff Carson had mentioned earlier that he was waiting until about lap 135. Wow! Anthony Paggio just trying to parallel park right between RP and Jeff, as Carson is now trailing behind the 82. And now it looks like the 07 of Anthony Paggio trying to get down here and draft up behind RP Allen. There is the opportunity for some drafting. I know we haven't talked about it very much tonight, but the draft very much in play on this 2-mile oval here in somewhat Southern California. I guess it's technically Southeastern California. But beautiful night here for a race. Dave Regal and Emily Arias here in the Sim Racing Media broadcast booth. Glad to have you all with us in the YouTube.com live chat. And you know what? Tonight's live chat has been pretty darn active, as we've heard from Jonathan Byer and Austin Story and Tornado Man 24. You know, Mid-South Drone Photography is in. Welcome. As you know, we get an opportunity throughout the season to really get along and get to know some of our viewers there in the YouTube.com live chat. And if you haven't done so before, why haven't you? Why haven't you subscribed to Sim Racing Media and turned on those bell notifications? As look at Jeff Carson holding off Alexander Gangler as if his life depends on it, coming through the front stretch here, as Carson now up into 6th position. He's looking to get more. And you know what? As long as track position holds out here, if he gets a caution and we get bunched back up again, Carson could be making a run for the lead. As we look at Anthony Paggio, who has been marching up here like a soldier, hitting his marks and staying as consistent as humanly possible, as he's up here in that 1110 mods 07 Toyota Supra. He's chasing down Dylan Ackhart in the 66, who was involved in a couple of incidents earlier in the night. Carlos Ramos in the 97 Toyota coming up behind Chase Cabra and Logan Truitt, but nobody really door handle to door handle at this moment. We're taking a look right now at Mr. Consistency, Chris Claude, who is on his recovery drive, gotten back onto the lead lap and running in 12th position right now, Em.
Yes, sir, as he is working his way up. Definitely a huge recovery by Chris. Having an unfortunate events earlier in the race. Able to bounce back on the lead lap in 12th place, like you mentioned. Definitely looking good for him, as he is the 3rd car from being on, the lead lap. Definitely working his way up there. But here tonight, 20 car and 93 car is looking to be battling it out. Ooh! Looks like some battling going on about mid-pack. Ooh, 86 car looks like going
86 is slow down here. Looks like he is going to be pulling off to the side and getting ready to shut down. We're going to run this back here and see what happened with Eugenio, as the rear end of the 86 is all kinds of jacked up. He may have just had that motor pop. And I hate to do this, folks, because this is like the worst thing in broadcasting, is when you suddenly start fast forwarding, but, we don't have all night. We're going to go right here. There it is. You heard it right here. You heard it and you saw that puff of smoke. We're going to go right here on the inside in the cockpit. And there it is. You can just see those RPMs dropping down. And Eugenio deciding he can't get any further. That's for darn sure.
Sad night for Eugenio, but he was only a lap down when that happened. sadly, that's going to put his night to the end and put him back to the hauler. Race lead is going to be the 20 car and following the 93 car. The battle out here right now is the 4603 and the 07 car. Racing for piece, I believe, 6th or 7th and 8th, my bad. 7th and 8th and 9th is the positions for battle at this time with 6 laps to go. 7 laps, my bad. 7 laps to go as the race leader is pulling from the field, pulling almost a 2-second gap from second place. Definitely boogieing out there. I will say Jeff Carson is up into 6th place, working his way up there, was right in the back of the pack almost all night, and like he said earlier, said, hey, I'm gonna start bigoting and racing hard around the, 15 laps to go, 10 laps to go, and we're definitely seeing that here tonight.
Yeah, and with just 6 to go now, Logan Truitt has opened up a 2-second lead over Chase Cabra. That pretty much puts the lead out of reach for these top 3 drivers in Logan Truitt, Chase Cabra, and Carlos Ramos, as basically they're all separated by, just a little bit, about 3 seconds, almost 3 seconds between one another. Carlos Ramos being challenged by Dylan Eckhardt, as Eckhardt smoking that right rear tire, doing everything he can to try to get on the podium for tonight with 5 to go here at Auto Club Speedway. Folks, if you've come along with us this far, this has been a heck of a race so far, and you know what? Jeff Carson back here doing his best to hit his marks. He's still hoping for that caution as he's getting ready to work just underneath the 59 lap car. And that's Chad Sanner up there in the 59. He gets around Sanner, and he's still chasing down Paggio. He's got 3 seconds to Paggio, who's got a half second to Eckhardt, who's still side by side with the 97. And I got to tell you, Emily, this might be an exciting race to watch just between these 2 cars with now 4 to go.
Yes, sir, as this is the race for position. The 97 car gets past the 66 car. I feel like they're not done battling, to be honest, with how much they're wanting to race. Ooh, as the 07 is like, hey, I'm going to poke my nose inside and get on some of this action with 4 laps to go, working on 3 laps to go, with the leader being so far ahead like he is right now. The battle really is back here, as the 66 going to be running the inside of that 97 car. And this is the race to beat right here between those 2 cars. Getting loose coming off that turn. I saw, a 97 car goes low. Definitely pushing that 66 car to the max, that Chevy Camaro. As the 07 car is working on the inside, getting close by close action. Definitely some awesome racing right here. Contact between the 07 and 97 car. Going to be shoving the 07 car into the wall a little bit.
The 07 goes fender to fender with the 66. He's going to now drop back significantly and maybe have to settle for a top 5 finish, as Dylan Eckhardt and Carlos Ramos still going at it. They've got the hammer and tongs out. And don't you worry, as we come back to the start-finish line, popsicle sticks in the air as the torches and pitchforks are just coming out of their cases for the 97 of Carlos Ramos and Dylan Eckhardt in the double 6. Folks, this is what we've been waiting for all night long. The race pretty much put to bed by Logan Truitt and Chase Cabra, but right now, 3rd position and that 3rd step connection issues. No, ma'am. We see coming down into turns 3 and 4, popsicle sticks go down as Logan Truitt crosses the start-finish line. The white flag is in the air, and we are racing back to checkers.
97 car and the 66 car still battling it out. That Chevy Camaro and the Toyota Supra working their booties off here tonight, battling left to right. That 66 car is putting it on the edge. You can see how much that back end is getting sideways, just sliding.
He's all but dirt tracking.
Line.
He is all but dirt tracking coming out of turn 2. They're side by side down the backstretch. The 97 of Carlos Ramos trying to hold off Dylan Eckhardt in his Chevrolet Camaro. They are still once again window net to window net coming through turns 3 and 4. They're racing back to the start-finish line we're going to see one heck of a finish here as they're side-by-side coming back. This is another great finish on Sim Racing Media. They make contact, and Carlos Ramos able to hold off Dylan Ackert right here at the start-finish line as Logan Truitt brings home the checkered flag. Chase Cabra finishing in second with Carlos Ramos in third. My goodness, what a finish we've had, yet again here in the Monday Night NASCAR Xfinity Series. We've been lucky for a couple of weeks now.
Yes, sir, and oh my god, that racing was stellar. I will say myself, the 66 and 97 car working their booties off just a little bit more time, and I believe the 66 car could have gotten that. But great race for everybody out here tonight as the 20 car is burning it down and getting his victory burnouts in.
My goodness. What a win for Logan Truitt, who wins from the pole. He dropped back a little bit tonight, a couple of times, but managed to bring home the checkered flag. So this young man right here going to be the star of our post-race show as he's decided to go ahead and put it on the hauler quick while hopefully he's down here in the broadcast booth waiting room. Nope. We've just got to find him. Logan Truitt, Dave Regal up in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Yep.
Well, young man, I believe this is your first win or your first appearance in the Monday Night NASCAR Xfinity Series, yes?
Yep.
Well, first appearance, first win. How are you feeling tonight? And I assume that Wellman, Iowa is celebrating for you tonight as well.
I hope so. That car was a rocket ship tonight, and I think our only challenge was Chase, and he ended up getting in a wreck, I think.
He did, and you know what? It's interesting that you should say that because Chase was giving you a run for your money for most of this race, and you managed to bring the 20 home back here from the pole position. I mean, can you talk to us about your setup? Maybe did you make any mid-race changes?
No, it was the same from the start all the way to the end. It was a little loose on the start of the run, and then it tightened up pretty good towards the end of the run. It was flying.
That's awesome, man. Well, here in your debut in the MNN Xfinity Series, how are you feeling about next week going into Las Vegas?
I think I have just an equal chance to win there.
All right. The man is confident, if anything, and you know what? You deserve to be confident. This was one heck of a debut for you here in the MNN Xfinity Series. Before we cut you loose, is there anybody that you need to thank for tonight's performance?
I'd like to thank my team owner, Kyle Ryan, and everyone on our team, Ryan and Bobby. I think it's a great race tonight.
A fellow Iowan winning the race. I like it.
There you are. All right, Logan, well, listen, congratulations, and we will see you next week at Las Vegas.
Yes, thanks. See you guys later.
And Emily, I believe right now you have Chase Cabra, finisher of on the second step of our podium.
Chase, you get a copy?
Yeah, I do.
Amazing race between you and sorry. You and that 20 car. A lot of hard racing between you and him all night long, finishing strong second place. What was going through your mind all that, that whole race, and how was your tires? I know you were probably burning them down last 15 laps. What was going through your mind?
Yeah, it wasn't bad at all. I felt like, we had a lot of speed in the beginning of the race throughout the first and second stage. Was able to pick up the stage 2 win, and then, I felt like we were pretty good, and I came down. I had like a little bit of damage. I brushed the wall, so I came down after the stage 2, and I was like, I'll just go ahead and take it, get it out of the way. That way I'm not dealing with it for the rest of the race, and then we go back green, and there was a wreck that I got collected in, so had a bunch of damage, was able to get it fixed, but it still doesn't get it all the way right, so kind of got put behind the 8 ball there and tried to fight back through, and was able to get back to them, with a couple cautions playing my way, and was able to come out of it second.
Yeah, no, 100%. You were amazing out there tonight.
Yeah, I appreciate it. It was a good run. I don't like that me and the '03 came together. I certainly didn't mean to make the contact. He was racing me hard, which is all fine. I'm totally cool with that. He was kind of blocking me going up the front straightaway, which, like I said, that's part of racing. And then I went down in the corner and kind of did like a slide job on him. And I feel like if watching the replay, he kind of hesitated. And when it was gonna try to go around me, and when he did, he ended up driving into my back bumper, and it ended up taking him out of the race. Which, I hate that. I don't want to come in here and cause chaos. I like to race clean and like to have fun, and I felt like we had some really good racing up front. But ultimately, I think it was just a unfortunate set of circumstances. But yeah, going into next week, I just hope we can. Kind of move past things. I'm gonna send him a note, tell him I apologize, and we'll go from there.
Yes, sir. All right, I'm gonna let you go. Do you have any sponsors, friends, family that you'd like to thank here tonight before I let you off?
Yeah, just the 1110 guys had fun. They sent me a message, asked me to get me in this, and I was like, yeah, for sure. So I got in, had some fun, and thanks to all the guys that let me do it. It was kind of last minute that I got in, but they let me do it, so I'm appreciative of that, and we'll go on to next week.
Yes, sir. All right, I'm gonna let you get back to your team and enjoy that second place. You have a wonderful night. See you next week at Vegas.
Thanks. We'll see you.
And last but not least, we should have Carlos Ramos, driver of the number 97 Toyota Supra from Columbia, South Carolina. Carlos, Dave Regal up in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Oh, yeah, I do. You hear me nice and loud?
I do. Very nice and loud. Sir, listen, it was a great race tonight. You were trying to hold off Dylan Ackert here at the end, and you decided to basically do exactly that. How are you feeling coming down toward the checkered flag?
Look, man, that fight with Dylan was insane. Bare knuckle, man, it was great. And he's my teammate, which makes it even better because we were just talking to each other the whole time about what was going on. But yeah, I don't know if you saw on the broadcast or anything, but on lap 149, the second two to go, I got into the corner a little hot, so I had to put on the brakes a little, and he bumped me a little bit, and that's pretty much what gave me the third place because he couldn't really, he would have easily had me if that didn't happen. But yeah, it was awesome. I was sweating.
Yeah, it was definitely a good run tonight. Now, as we come off this 2-miler one last time in history, as before they turn this into a short track, what are you thinking about as far as going to Las Vegas next week?
I don't know if I'm actually going to be able to make Vegas. However, Vegas it's a track just like this, multiple grooves, multiple ways to get around the track. And it's really just going to come down to the person who builds the right setup for the right line, and if they're able to run that line the whole time. That's all Vegas is. But it's a great track, 1.5 miles the oval, so I'm sure to give us some excitement.
All right, man. Well, listen, congratulations on the third step finish tonight on the podium. Before we cut you loose, who do you need to thank for this run?
Thank my wife, of course, who let me come down here doing all this good stuff. EE Sports, everybody, esports gaming, Subgrade, Swift Lifestyles. If you go to the swiftlifestyles.com, use promo code Carlongos, you get a discount. So go ahead and do that. Hawk Designs for the beautiful paint that I have. Maconi Setup Shop got me there up in the top 3. And that's it. Shout out to Doug. He took a lot of damage, so he wound up finishing 13th. So proud of that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Doug Argerbright was working his tail off tonight, but just couldn't bring it home. But congratulations on that third place finish, and we'd like to see you next week in Las Vegas, but we understand if you can't make it. And definitely a strong shout out there to your wife because for those of us like you and I, it's all about saying thank you to the little lady there standing over our shoulder for letting us do this kind of stuff.
100%.
All right, brother. Listen, congratulations, and we'll see you hopefully next week, and if not, the week after.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, Dave. Hopefully you had a good random fact, too.
Oh, yeah. It was fantastic.
All right.
Well, Emily, now we can say another one in the books as we've got 2 weeks down now and, just about 36 to go here in the Xfinity Series. But we're going to take one last look here at our final results. Logan Truitt, Chase Cabra, and Carlos Ramos finishing on the podium this evening. Dylan Ackart and Jeff Carson rounding out the top 5 as Carson had battled his way up 14 positions. Anthony Paggio, after coming up 30 positions, comes up short here in his quest for a checkered flag, with Bobby Anderson, R.P. Allen, Brandon Minto, and Ryan Honeycutt rounding out the top 10, Emily.
All right, top 11. We're going to be starting off. 11's going to be Alexander Gangler. 12's going to be Chris Clauden, the number 10 machine, bringing it home. On the lead lap, last car scored on the lead lap. 13's going to be Doug Argerbright. 14's going to be Michael Asuto. 15's going to be Corey Burkett. 16's going to be Zachary Vaughn. 17's going to be Brad Gunn. 18's going to be Mark Brewster. And 19th's going to be Zach Osborne. Rounding out the top 20 is going to be Eugene Osborne.
And after Eugenio Alonso, the great Ricky Carmichael, the GOAT of Supercross and Motocross, he finishes 21st with Tony Burt and Andrew T. Jones, Aaron Mack, and Kavaja Holt rounding out your top 25. Moving right along, we have John Bawalda finishing 22nd. 27th belongs to Kyle Ryan after he had started up in 7th position and caught some bad luck. Lauren Jones finishing 28th, still up 4 positions from where he had started, but cannot manage to bring it the rest of the way home. Gabriel Lafreniere from north of the border, he finishes in 29th position with Joseph Lester finishing in 30th. John Crow Sr., Chad Sanner, Mike Wright, Matthew Gaskins, Matt White, which it's not often that we see him this far back in the field. He finishes 35th with Bennett Allen, Austin Story, and Matt Mackin, your Daytona winner in the Cup Series. Or I'm sorry, maybe I'm wrong. You know what? Matt Mackin finishing last in the field tonight in 38th. So, Emily, glad to have you with me tonight as it's been fun. It's been real. And I got to say, it's been real fun. As we are now getting ready to bring it home here, folks, on Sim Racing Media, I'm Dave Regal. She's Emily Arias. And tomorrow, as you go through your day, you need to find that one happy thought. You need to find that one good moment of your day. Hang on to it. Because when you have a happy thought, you can fly. Good night, everybody.